If you had to introduce yourself in your own words, how would it be?
I'm Sharan and I make videos and I have lots of fun while I do that. That's all. That's it. End of introduction.
If
Yeah.
you had to describe yourself with just 3 words, what would they be?
Funny, lazy, smart.
Why lazy? What makes you lazy?
I think I'm the laziest person in the world, dude. Like, I'm so lazy. It's insane.
Why? Give us an example. What makes you lazy?
For example, like, every night I tell myself that I should wake up at like 8, 9 o'clock or like at least by 10, but then I wake up at like 11, 12, uh, which is, uh, which is laziness.
But I think most people who are like quarantined are facing the same. So like,
I mean, that's true, but then my life was exactly like this before the quarantine. So,
right. And the third word you said was smart.
yes.
So what's your everyday been like? Like how's quarantine treating you?
Quarantine's been great. I've been having, like, most people don't really like quarantine, but I've been having lots of fun because, like, it's helped me focus because I'm not going out and, like, meeting people and going for movies and stuff. I'm always stuck at home. So, I have lots of time to make videos, I think. So, it's been super productive. I'm super focused right now.
So are you saying your creativity space is working more
Yes.
during?
Yes, definitely. 100%.
That's amazing. So if I had to say what an everyday in Sharan's life look like, what would you say?
So I wake up in the morning, take a shower, go to my grandmom's place to have breakfast and lunch. So Amma doesn't understand the concept of like meal timings. So for example, if I reach her house at 1 o'clock, like I woke up at like 12 o'clock, I reach at 1 o'clock, she will give me breakfast and then in like 10 minutes she'll try to feed me lunch also.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's hard. But after that, after I breakfast, lunch, then I start to make videos. I shoot something, or if I have to do some edits, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's all. And then go for a workout, Netflix at night, irritate my family members.
Irritate your family members. So that brings me to my next question. Grandma reacts and how you're known as the pretty face from Grandma Reacts. How did that happen? Do you often like to irritate your grandma or like
I'm just going to concentrate on the pretty part. Thank you. But so Akash from Netflix. Akash works from Netflix, and Akash saw my videos with Amama, where me and Amama having fun, and he said, why don't you come and watch some shows with us and like react to them. So that was fun. Amama, Amama loves doing those shows. I mean, loves doing grandma reacts. Like she absolutely loves it, but she pretends like she doesn't. So whenever we don't have shoot, she'll be like, "Mone, Netflix appo vilikkum," which is basically in translation is when will Netflix call us? And then I have to say, Amma, my Netflix has better things to do than call us every time. But but yeah,
but you also make a lot of content with her on like your Instagram, on TikTok. Are you
yeah,
like close to your grandparents?
I'm super close to my grandmom. Like we are like friends. Like I don't think it's a normal grandmom grandson relation. It's like we're buddies.
Why would you say so?
Like we're always fighting. Like for example, we're also very mean to each other. For example, yesterday I went to a place and there is this thing called koi kata. It's like a sweet dish. So Mama is like, can you please have it? So I'm like, I won't have it. And she got really angry. Why won't you have it? And then I kept saying, I won't have it. And then it reached a point where I couldn't have it. If I had it, she would be really happy. So I'm like, if I have it, you'd be really happy, so I can't have it. So that's the kind of relationship we're like
Like
bro.
a sibling relationship or something.
Relationship.
So, what would you say your hobbies are other than creating this like what you do
My
every day?
hobby. I don't know. I like watching football. I like playing football. I I like watching shows, and then and yeah, like lots of time is taken up by like videos, like video shooting, editing. So that's the thing I like doing most.
So from this whole management space to like a content creation space, how did you like shift? Did you always plan on doing something with your humor, or was this just sudden?
It was very organic, dude. So I studied business, and then I was supposed to join my dad's business. So once I joined that, like it never made me happy. I felt like I was not a person who would be able to do a 9 to 5,
Okay.
and I wanted to like explore like acting and stuff. So this whole shooting and blogging and all came as a product of that. I used to have a habit of basically shooting everything. Anything which happens, like I always have just shooting stuff. And
So
I'll be
you'll
like,
always be the guy with the camera.
yeah, always. So
I
like
can relate.
it's reached a point where like people don't do certain things if I have a phone out. Because they're like he's shooting. When I'm not even shooting, I'm just holding my phone.
Yeah, you're like the paparazzi. You're always with the phone, always capturing everything.
Yeah, so initially I had so much footage of all the years I've just like shot videos and kept it. That it was easy
Mm-hmm.
for me to like edit and put out content.
Okay.
And then yeah, like I still shoot everything. Like it's it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And you remember like if you shoot everything, you like down the years you can look back and see what all you've done. All the memories, like what happened in 2017, what happened in 2018. Like you remember.
What happened in 2017, what happened in 2018, and how 2020 is like so completely different from both the years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, walk down the memory lane, indeed.
Yeah.
So, what kind of content do you like making, and why did you choose this area of content creation? Like,
So I usually like non-scripted content.
mm-hmm.
I like things which happen naturally, like vlogs and like I don't think we have done anything which is super scripted. Because like if you're with a group of friends who vibe really well, then like things the moments just happen. So you just have to
Correct.
record, yeah, and like it just happens. So the funny things just pop up. So you just have to shoot.
So most of it is impromptu.
Yeah, all of it is impromptu. Like even with my
That's
grandma,
amazing.
there's no way I can script it. I usually know that if I say this, she might have this sort of reaction to a certain thing I say. So I'll say those things, and then I hope to see that she reacts in that way. But like I can't ever predict. Same.
That's nice. It just means that you have this understanding level with your grandma that you know that when you say this, she's going to say something else.
Yeah,
Correct.
because we have done it often like yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are fans of the spontaneity and the on-spot humor that you come up with.
Yeah.
And how is it going with creating TikToks?
Man, I don't understand people who hate TikToks are the greatest invention of the world. Like you can get on TikTok and time will just fly because you keep scrolling and
Really?
you keep scrolling and you see doing different things, and it's just it's really beautiful. And TikToks, I feel like you don't have to do much thinking. You just have to like just go ahead and do.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Just keep scrolling because the content sometimes I think it segregates the content to your likes and it's just hilarious sometimes.
It's hilarious most like all the time.
Yeah, not all of the content that comes on my feed is hilarious, but yeah, most of it is.
So it depends what you're watching. So.
Well, I have a lot of people sending me cringe videos, so like,
That makes sense.
yeah, so sometimes my feed is more or less dominated by cringe videos, and I just don't know how to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just follow you and I'll follow your content.
It's a lot of fun to create TikToks. Like it doesn't take like you don't have to think too much. Like you just like, put the song, dance a bit, put some time.
But TikTok is like so much effort, right? Like there's so many effects going on. People are doing crazy things.
Dude, the thing about TikTok is it is such an advanced app. Like you can literally edit, shoot everything, put a filter, everything on the one. Like on if you upload on Instagram, you have to use like Final Cut Pro to edit the video. You have to use some other app to Photoshop. In TikTok, you can do everything inside it. It is so advanced. Like you can take a video and then put a filter on it, like blows up. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've tried like making them and then I've miserably failed. And
Like to see your TikToks.
what?
We would like to see your TikToks.
You would like to see them, not we. I will share them with you separately.
Okay, fine.
So, Sharan, what do you know about Sakshi? I mean, you were a part of our influencer campaign. And what do you know about Sakshi?
I know you guys are doing some great work. I saw the lives you guys did with Kripali and Gayatri. You guys are raising awareness about making home a safe space for children, especially in the time of where like most kids are at home.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it's important to educate because like kids are young and they don't know what to do when they are faced with a situation like that. So the more dialogue we have, more people are aware of what's happening. It benefits all of us.
That is true. That is a huge part of what Sakshi is doing.
I wish when I was younger, there were platforms like this to like, read and watch and, to educate myself so I know what to do if I was faced with a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is something that we're trying to create. We're trying to create safe spaces in homes, and that is why we have this campaign going on, our fundraising campaign, which is called Make Home a Safe Space, where we're trying to raise funds for the victims of child sexual abuse and domestic violence, especially during lockdown, because we never know what is happening inside the houses.
True.
Yeah. So do you have any ideas as to what is your idea of a safe space? What would you say is a safe space to you?
I mean, a safe space, these things are bound to happen. Like I'm sure that you can't bring down these things to zero. But if everybody is aware of the consequences of what can happen if you cross that line, or what you must do if somebody has, abused you or molested you, and you know what to do when you're faced with that situation, it would make things a lot more easier.
Correct.
Because usually when it happens to kids, they don't know what to do. They sometimes feel like it's their fault. They don't know who to speak to. They don't know if they should talk to their parents or to their friends, or some people are very dismissive about it. So, yeah.
The point that you mentioned about kids thinking that it's their fault.
Yeah.
How do you think, what is an advice that you would like to give to people who might be watching this, who think that something they did somewhere in life is their fault? Do you think, is there anything you would like to say to them?
I mean, it's all I'd like to say is it's absolutely not your fault. And if something like this happens, you must speak up. You must tell your parents. You must seek professional help if that's what you need. Because keeping silent about it, it'll slowly eat you up. Like you'll think about it, and then you'll think that you're over it. But then one fine day you'll wake up and then you suddenly think about it again. And it's like a roller coaster. So you must talk about it with somebody. At least let people know that you went through this. There's no that like you say that you went through this in your life, and there are so many people who have gone through the same things, who have the same stories to say.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one. So yeah.
So what's your journey been like?
I mean, I am saying all this as a person who has faced it. Like when I was 11, 12, I remember I was at this party where this older man came and molested me. And like if you look at it in the spectrum of like sexual abuse, it's like very low on the spectrum, because like if I have to like mark it, simply because I was in a crowded area and like not much happened. But when it happened, I was so shocked because this person was talking about my parents. Like he was like, "Where's your dad? Where's your mom?" So he made me
Mhm.
feel as that, you know, this is a person who cares for me. So I'm like, I was talking to him, and I was super aware of what was happening. And then suddenly, when things got slightly out of hand, like the elder boy came and like uh, another elder boy came, pulled me across, and said, "Make sure that never happens to you." I did tell my parents, but I didn't know how to, you know, cope with that. Simply because also this is a person who lives in the same community as us, and I've seen the person several times after that. And each time I see him, like my anger just builds up. I don't think he even recognizes me now. But like when I see him, like my anger, I feel like, you know, he. And at that point of time, I didn't really do anything. Like thing happens, you talk to people, you feel better about yourself, you seek professional whatever it is, so that you don't wake up one fine day and be like, "Oh, shit, that happened to you," and like you think about that. That shouldn't take your mind space. Like you should be able to deal with it.
That is true, but one thing I think which people need to understand is that sexual abuse is way more than just penetration. Molesting a child is also sexual abuse. Doing anything with the child without their consent, or even with like consent is not even a thing when it comes to like 11, 12-year old. Like they don't know what is happening to them. They're made to believe that whatever is happening is their fault. They're made to believe that, you know, that it is normal. For example, yeah, I mean, for example, even in your situation, what held you back? What held you back? What made you feel like you couldn't reach out to people?
At the age of 11 and 12, usually the kids like, 14, 15, 16-year olds are usually mean to you because like bullying is prevalent and stuff. So I remember when this happened, there were a lot of boys who were elder to me who made fun of me, saying, "Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
what happened to you?" And it almost made me think at that age that, it's my fault. It's something because of something I did which made sure that that happened, when it was not my fault at all. I was just having fun at a party. I was 11 years old. I was happy drinking Coca-Cola. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't know this person would come and, take advantage of me like that. So when
Exactly.
even when your friends or your like older kids who you're surrounded by speak to you like this, you almost think like this is your fault. But this is what, like 15 years back. I feel like the like changed a lot right now. Like
So, was this a setting where, like, this particular person was your family friend?
he was
Would
not
you
a, he
say
was
so?
not a, he was not a, he's yeah. I mean, that's a gray area. Like he used to live, so there are like he used to live in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
So so my family knows about him, but like I don't think they're close or anything. And
So,
I feel like in these situations, people have this habit, like elders have this habit of just like, shushing the situation. It's easier not to do anything and easier to let go, according to them. Like I had another situation, like this was like a couple of years back. I was working in a production for a web series, and there was this young girl who had like what 2 3 scenes, and she was
mm-hmm.
mic'd by this guy, and it seems the guy touched her inappropriately, and the girl didn't even tell us. The girl went back home and told her mom that, this happened. So she was so scared in that situation that even when it happened, she didn't have the voice to tell her own mom. So then the mom called the team and called and said, "You know what, this happened to my daughter. Some action should be taken." So
Mm-hmm.
what the production team did is they trashed the mic person. They trashed him, beat him up. But then you're supposed to give a formal police complaint and give him to the police, or something has to be done, right? But
Correct.
in that point, the production was like, you know what? If we go down the rabbit hole, then it's a lot of procedure. You don't know what's going to happen. This guy has a union behind him, so we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So let's just let it go. We're going to fight, which is so wrong because I was an AD on this production, so it's not like I had much of a voice. But I thought that was so wrong, because if he was let go so easily, then there is a chance that he might do that again.
Correct.
And this let's leave it or let's fuck it, that attitude itself, when it's prevalent, it's very hard to make a change.
Correct. And I'm sure that this girl who went through this
You will
would
remember
have
this for
been
the.
sad. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. And you never know if she'll be up to go for like shooting again, right? Because she might think that it is her fault. And I think it is very, very important to educate children about the existence of child sexual abuse and to tell them that it's never their fault, because they'll literally torment themselves with the thought for for their whole lives. And that is why I think, so Sakshi, we have a huge part of our Sakshi organization is the Rakshin Project, where we're closely working with educating a lot of students from different colleges and talking to them and teaching them about preventing child sexual abuse, because you cannot put the burden of prevention of child sexual abuse on a child, because, as you said, children, they don't understand what's happening to them. And from this very example that you just gave with yourself or this little girl, I'm sure there must just be so much going on in her mind since she's still young, but
Yeah.
you have grown up. And as a kid, what went in your head when this happened to you, and how different is it as you're an adult now?
What went through my head? So I was really sad. I don't know why it happened to me, and then it took me a lot of years to realize that what happened was wrong, and it was not my fault. And like I should have probably spoken about it with like lots more people, and like something maybe should have done to the guy who did that to me. But then when I was a child, like I genuinely didn't know. And now when I think about it, if there's one thing I need to tell to younger people, it's just that. Um, like if something like that happens to you, you shouldn't talk it out. If you see something like that happen to your friends or to somebody you should stand up for that person. Because like sexual abuse is it leaves a mark on you. So yeah,
So would you say, how are you dealing with it now? Whenever you think about it, what thoughts do you get?
I feel whenever I think about it, I like I don't know. I just feel like it has made me a stronger person. Also because now if I see that happen to somebody else, like I would be the first to take action because I know what it felt like. Like that boy who saved me on the day was he's still one of my friends. Like he's married now and he has a child and everything, and we still talk about it. Like this happened like 15 years later. I mean, 15 years back. So I want to be that elder boy who came and saved me on that day to other people, and like to make sure that it doesn't happen again with anybody else.
But it did, right? I mean, you had to witness this happen with this little girl that you mentioned. And I think it is very important for companies to know that every company, especially the ones that involve children, should have a committee for prevention of sexual harassment. I mean, a child welfare
Yeah,
community, a committee which makes them feel safe, which basically builds an environment for child artists, children, anyone under the age of 18 to feel safe to work there, because these things keep happening even with adults. Sexual harassment at workplace happens even with adults, so we can't even imagine what all could happen with children. So it is extremely important to build or even start. I mean, it should be mandatory. I don't even think this should be optional, that companies needs to have a child welfare committee within them.
exactly.
And I think that's extremely important to address and very, very important to implement. And I think it should be made compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with your own experience, did you feel like nobody would believe you if you told people? Did it make you feel vulnerable at any point?
It it made me feel weak. It made me feel like I couldn't stand up for myself then.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's what I felt as a 12-year-old. Like it felt like it was too much. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's anything you'd like to go back and change after this incident, what would it be?
I would make sure I was not on the dance floor at the same time as that guy. But besides that, I don't know. I'd be more aware. I would like if see the thing is like my like it's not like I haven't had that talk with my mom. When I was in fifth grade, I remember my mom telling me about like good touch and bad touch and like be careful of
Mhm.
this and people out there. Like I'm super close to my parents, so it's not like I've not had this conversation, and yet it happened to me. It happened to me because this person who I thought was in a position of authority and who was elder to me came and spoke to me about my parents. So in my head, as a 12-year-old, I'm like, yeah, this guy knows my dad and mom. Like he's not going to do anything bad to me. But yeah, and it happened. And then I could have chosen to keep quiet about it, and I could have chosen not to talk about it even right now. But like, I feel like if one person talks and if one other person can relate, that it's just one building block of like small change which can change like the entire society.
So if you're saying that if you know someone else who's gone through a similar story, that would make you feel better that you're not alone.
So that's the thing, right? Like, so initially I hadn't talked about it with people, and then once I became like 18, 19, 20, I've spoken about this incident with like other friends of mine, and they're like, oh my god, the same things happen to us. Like, I was on this train or I was on this bus and this happened to me, this guy did this to me or this girl did this to me. So then you realize that everybody has gone through this.
Correct.
So if you open that dialogue, it's so much easier to tackle the situation.
So when you talk about it now, do you feel empowering? Do you feel free that, it's finally out of your system? Or do you still feel like this haunts you at some point?
No. I feel like if you can talk about something freely, you're already like liberated from that. Like it frees me. Like I'm free now. Like I'm not affected by that thought. Like I know it happened to me, but I've taken back that situation. Like it doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, it happened. I can't chase that now, but like I'm not bothered. Like it doesn't affect me because I have tackled that situation. I've talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like doing great right now, I must say. But do you think at any point that you developed humor as a defense mechanism from all of this?
From that specific situation, I don't think so. I think I was always
Mhm.
funny. I don't
Sorry?
think. I think I was always funny. I would like to say.
Really?
I don't think that like one situation or like there are people who say that when they grow up in a very tough house with like when their parents are super strict, and to diffuse situations like they develop a sense of humor so that
Yeah,
they can.
I've heard of that.
I feel like that didn't happen in my house because my parents are super chilled out. Like
Then
we
how
are
did you
constantly
develop the humor?
like I feel like we are like basically it's me, my mom, my dad, and Aryan, and we're like four bachelors living in the same house, so we are always constantly making fun of each other. So you just have to be quick on your feet. Like
Mm-hmm.
you hear something, you have to reply back immediately because you're not going to get a chance after that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
So
humor was never a defense mechanism for you. It was more or less something just natural that came to you.
yeah.
Makes sense. So if there was something a message that you would like to share with a younger version of Sharan, what would it be?
Message to my younger version. I don't know. I wish when I was younger, I wish I was more confident, and I wish I always felt like I was different compared to the other kids, and I wish I told myself that was okay to be different. Like you don't have to be like everyone else to fit in. Because when you're different, when you're like 11, 12 and you're different, people tend to make fun of you. You tend to get bullied. And just to tell my younger self that it's okay to be different, like you're going to do many amazing things later in life.
These are some real strong things that you just said. Where does it stem from? Did you have any instances or like situations that you faced during school or
I used to be always be I used to always be made fun of saying, "Oh my God, you're a girl. Oh, you're gay." Uh, because like I didn't have like facial hair, I didn't have like hair on my leg. Oh, you're a girl. You're gay. You're a gay guy. And back then, it used to affect me because I used to be like I don't understand. Just my body. This is my face. This is my hair. Like I can't make it. But now I'm like, yeah, you call me whatever. I don't care. Now it doesn't matter. But yeah,
and you said that it's okay to be different.
yeah.
Where does that stem from?
I don't know. Like I always felt like I was different compared to the other kids, and now I've like accepted it, and I want like it's awesome to be. It's good to be unique. It's good not to be like everyone else. It's good not to do what everyone else is doing.
How was your childhood like? Like, do you think a huge part of what you are today has to do with your childhood, like your upbringing? And you say you were brought up in Russia, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what was my childhood like? Absolutely hate going to school. Like hate is in other statements. Like I would hate it. I don't understand kids who like going to school. Like my brother used to love going to school, and I would just not understand. The only time I liked going to school is when I had a girlfriend in ninth standard. Like, I would hate
Mm-hmm.
studying. I feel like I don't understand why we have to study like math and physics. Like physics and chemistry, I have never understood in my life. Even like people say they don't understand like 11th and 12th standard chemistry and physics. I didn't understand ninth and 10th standard physics.
Okay.
But I still love social studies. I love geography. Although I didn't understand why we had to learn about the soils of India. I don't know why anybody cares whether India has 5 different soils or 6 different soils. But as growing up, like my childhood was a lot of like there was a lot of activities, football, chess. I used to come to Cochin for holidays. So I used to spend a lot of time with my cousins, my grandmom. I'm super close to my cousins. Uh, Cousins who are my like 2 months um, difference in
So
age.
would you say that you feel like your family, your home is a safe space?
Yeah, that yes, definitely would be a safe space. Like if something happened, like I don't think any of the kids would even think for a moment not to tell uh, the elders. Because if you have your
So
family behind you, then like nothing can stop you. Like you are quite invincible.
that is true, but what would you have to say about the houses where the family itself is the reason a child is getting abused? What would be your idea of a safe space in such a situation or scenario?
I mean,
How
I
would
mean,
you want to make it a safe space?
I mean that is a very tricky situation. I mean, if I lived in a house where my mom or my dad was abusing me, then it's very tricky because that's where you live, right? Like you can't go anywhere else. But I feel like that's where schools come in, teachers come in, where like if a school has a good program where they teach you what is right, what is wrong. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if the school, like usually schools in India have like terrible counselors, like absolutely terrible counselors. If a school had a great counselor, and if a student could go and talk to that counselor, at least to get some clarity.
Yeah.
Maybe if the school is involved and then the parents are called and they know like we'll file a police complaint, like this has to stop. Maybe the family life won't be great, but at least abuse can stop.
That makes sense. So it all rounds up to how and why education is so important, right?
Yeah, education is the most important. Like it's I mean, education in the sense that educating people for the right things, like about like sexual abuse, like, or it should be mandatory in all schools that from fifth standard, sixth standard, they have like a class, so their teachers teach them that what is right, what is wrong, when you should speak
Mm-hmm.
up. I mean, that would make a huge difference because when you're so young and you're told that this is the right way to do things, then you'll forever remember it.
That is true. I think educating people from a very young age. For example, there are so many initiatives. For example, like what Sakshi is doing with the Rakshin Project. There are so many other organizations trying to teach young kids and educate them about child sexual abuse and how what is being done to them is wrong. And not just children, I think even adults need to be addressed. For example, as I said, every company, it is mandatory to have a child welfare committee. It is mandatory to have a um, committee against sexual harassment in general.
Yeah.
And I think every place, be it school, be it home, be it anywhere a child goes, should be a safe environment for them. And I think what needs to be changed is the mentality as well.
Yeah, the mentality. There has to be a shift in mentality. That's true. I absolutely.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you would want to share from your personal experiences about these things?
Anything else? Don't think so. I think I've said what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, speak up. That's all.
Are you open to any questions from the viewers?
If they're gonna ask nice questions, yes. But
Do you
knowing
guys have any nice questions for Sharan?
knowing what they've been asking for the last half an hour, no.
I know. So, do you guys have any questions? If you do, then ask away.
What are your thoughts on nepotism and Sushant's death? I think nepotism is prevalent in every industry, and I don't think like you can stamp it out because, like, I'm not for nepotism. I want to become an actor, and I don't have anybody in the industry, so I know how hard it is. But it's something you can't, like, you have to fight that, and you have to put out your best work, and you would make it. Like,
I think more than nepotism, Sushant's death had to do a lot with mental health, and that is a whole different area
I mean, mental. I see.
discussion.
I'm only reading the reports, but like, yeah, mental. But like, if he had people who could talk to him and calm him down in that situation, it would have been way different. Like, I just don't understand who say, like, after somebody's death, they're the person constantly. I mean, you should have done that when that person.
That's true.
Like, that's when he needed to hear it. So yes, I mean, mental health is a whole different conversation. That's
Yeah, it is. It's intense.
how do you suggest a child can grow up to be better in a family of domestic violence? That's what I said. Like, it's hard to be in a house where domestic violence is prevalent. But the only thing you can do is if you have a safe space in like your school, or you have other family members you can speak to, or most domestic violence like is not even reported to the police because people are usually like, what can the police do? But I think it should be reported. I think police should take action so that it doesn't happen over and over again. Yeah.
For everyone who's watching, us Sakshi organization, we are currently having a live campaign called Make Home a Safe Space. And if you would want to donate any amount, that would make a huge difference. You can just go to our bio and donate any amount that you wish to. And if any of you are facing any issues, be it mental health, be it sexual abuse, be it domestic violence, you could always reach out to us on Instagram, on our email. You'll find our details in our bio. So do not hesitate from reaching out and definitely stay safe. So thank you so much, Sharan, for being a part of this.
Thank you, Shreya.
For being a part of our influencer video, firstly, and then even to agreeing to come on live with us to talk about an issue